All right, so today I've decided to jump on my alt account and we're going to be going all the way from noob, basically absolutely nothing whatsoever, all the way up to a pro player. If you take a look over here at my inventory, I have no fishing rods at all. I do have a couple of the fish mist baits, but not really anything super crazy. Inside of my inventory over here, absolutely nothing. And same even goes for my titles. We have 0. So we are basically starting off completely fresh. The only thing that I sort of have a little bit of a head start on is the fact that I do have 400 coins because for some reason I got a login streak that gave me 200 coins. The way we're going to do this is very simple. I'm basically going to give you guys a goal. I obviously won't put you guys through the misery of watching me fish for these goals, but we will accomplish them as we go, starting with the very first thing being able to get our hands on the carbon rod. So as of right now, we have 400 coins. We need to save up 2,000 as well as get our level up so that we can buy our first transportation, which is also going to require us some money. So let's get to grinding, man. This is going to be interesting. I haven't played as a new player in a very long time, so this should be pretty entertaining. One thing that I haven't done for a really long time is use a rod that isn't instant lure, so we sort of have to go back to our old trick here of basically just spamming S and enter using the accessibility feature. So this is going to make our life a little bit easier. It isn't exactly instant lure, but it's definitely a lot quicker than clicking on shake one by one. We actually just got this pop-up, which I've never seen on my other account because obviously that wasn't a starter when this whole package was introduced. Technically, I can afford it on this account, which is sort of surprising, but I want to do this completely free to play. So we're going to go ahead and skip out on that because yes, we do not have a single game pass here and I like to keep it that way. Either way, let's do a little bit of fishing here and we'll be back as soon as we have that 2,000. All right, so I've officially gathered enough fish to go ahead and finally get the last 2K that I needed, which technically I needed 200. So if we sell our inventory here, we should have more than enough. Yep, perfect. And it actually is just shy from being able to purchase our boat as well. But either way, we're going to purchase our carbon rod here. This is going to be our upgrade for right now until we go ahead and move on to the steady rod. But if we take a look over here, our rowboat that we need in order to move over to Roslit, where we're going to be making a lot more money, is going to cost us 700 coins. Aside from that, you also need to be level 5 in order to even access the ship, right? So that was sort of my main focus for right now. But either way, let's just go ahead and grab maybe like 1 or 2 fishes here. Shouldn't really take too much more to get to the 700. Then we're going to grab our rowboat and we're heading out of here. Perfect. So we actually got lucky because there's currently an eclipse going on. So we were able to get some of these solar blades, which I'm assuming are going to sell for way more than I actually need. So there we go. And now we officially can start making moves to Roslit. First, let's go ahead and grab our rowboat here and off we go to Roslit. This might actually take us forever. All right, so at this point, things are going to change up a little bit for us. So our goal right now is going to be to get the steady rod, which is going to be a total of 7,000 cash. The reason for this is because it's going to allow us to fish legendaries as well as mythicals inside of Roslit. That in itself will go ahead and change completely how much money we're actually making. And it'll really speed up the process a lot with the rod that we're going to get right after the steady rod. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. Right now, let's focus on getting 7,000 cash. Now, I know I didn't show you guys this before, but let's go ahead and sort of show you what time it is right now for me, just so that you're sort of in perspective of how long this entire process is taking us. But if you take a look on the bottom right hand side, it is currently 4:40 p.m. So far, we've made a little bit of progress, not really anything too crazy. To be more specific, let me head over here and let's sell our inventory. So you can take a look. We're at 1,200 and we need 7,000 to get the steady rod. So let's go ahead and get back to fishing here and let's see how long this takes us to get to the 7,000. All right, so if you guys take a look on the bottom right hand side, we are now going to do the 10-minute update. So let's head over to the merchant and sell what we've gotten so far, which I do want to point out, I was lucky enough to get myself a legendary. So let's sell our inventory. Are we close at all? Actually, we're not too bad, to be honest. 4,000 cash. I'd say give me like another 10 more minutes and we should be good to go. Let's go ahead and focus up here again. All right, so it's officially been another 10 minutes. We actually did really good this run and we got our hands on another legendary. I feel pretty confident, but let's see, man. Is it going to be 7,000? Just short from 7,000, dude. All we need is 400 more. Either way, honestly, that shouldn't be so bad. We should be able to get this fairly quickly. And then what we're going to do is once we have that steady rod in our possession, we're going to make our way over to Ancient Isles. I don't know how successful I'm going to be getting there, but the reason that I want to go over there is to fish a little bit inside of the waterfall because I feel like we're going to be able to earn a lot more in a quicker time span, just kind of because I'm sort of speed running this entire process. In a perfect world, I would more rather go to like depths, since technically that is the area with the second highest amount of cash. But dude, I feel like we're doing some pretty good progress right now. Altogether, we have about like a solid 35 minutes of gameplay time so far. I probably should have shown my time played before I started recording. The problem is that I have an hour and 12 minutes because this account is sort of the one that I use for thumbnails and stuff like that. So sometimes this sort of just stands around for a while. But I guess now you guys can see where I'm at for the time being. We're at an hour and 13 minutes. Either way, let's finish up here on getting these 400 so we can move on to Ancient Isles. All right, there we go. 7,000 cash has been accomplished. Let's go ahead and grab our steady rod here. And now we've got ourselves an upgrade, a pretty big one too, to be honest. Now I'm actually going to take some of the cash that I have here and I'm going to purchase just a couple of these, which actually, now that I'm looking at it, I can only really afford 17. So I may as well waste all of it because eventually we will need to go into depths. And to do that, I am going to have to get night shrimps to complete the bestiary inside of Vertigo. So I don't know, man, every part of me is sort of telling me that I should try and fish here just for a little bit, see if I get an Isonade to sort of get that out of the way. At the same time, I feel like this is sort of going to waste a lot of time for something that I really have a super small chance on actually getting. Also, I completely forgot that this boat doesn't actually let you do this. Oh, never mind. I found a sweet spot. And it disappeared as I found... Yeah, I knew this was going to be a waste of time. We're off to Ancient Isles. All right, so it's been about a solid 4 or 5 business days, but I'm almost there, man. I'm kind of scared for the entire little mini game where you have to dodge things, considering this boat is super slow, but hopefully it goes nice and smooth. In theory, each one should spawn fairly far away, so I should hopefully be fine. Although for some reason, nothing has spawned. I literally just made it here and not a single thing spawned. Well, all right then. We have officially made it to the waterfall. Let's see how this all plays out. Now, I didn't exactly say what our plan was so far, but as of right now, the plan is to go ahead and rack up 25,000 cash. The reason for this is because the rod that we want to get right after the steady rod, as of the most recent update being the Northern Expedition, is the Arctic rod. It's going to be a huge upgrade and something that's going to help us push over to getting the next rod after that being the trident one. I know it's a fairly big leap to go from 25k all the way to 150k, but trust me, it'll all work out and this is actually going to be fairly easy. We're also doing really good on timing so far. Still under an hour from the last time that we actually looked at the time, which, hey, yo, we got a legendary already. Let's go. This is really good money. This is going to be super quick to get to that 25k, man. But like I was saying, it is currently 5:15 for me. First time we looked at the clock, it was 4:40, so technically we're still under that hour mark. By the time that we hit 1 hour, I want to, at the very least, be in the process of getting our trident. All right, so we fished a couple. Let's see what the results are here. Kind of curious if we made even over 10k or 5k maybe. 4k, yeah, I mean, that's not too bad, to be honest, for it just being kind of like 10 minutes. Unfortunately, though, if you look at the bottom right, we're at 526 right now. So we're getting really close to that 540 mark. And we still don't have the Arctic fishing rod that we need. So not looking too good on timing right now. All right, so we've officially hit the 1 hour mark and we have quite a bit to sell right now. I don't exactly think it's 25,000's worth, but we definitely got a variety to sell right now. So let's go ahead and sell our full inventory here. Total is 5,100, but I do think, actually, no, it literally sold everything. So yeah, we're off to a bit of a rough start right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did expect for this part to be a little bit more difficult, especially because of the fact that we are using the steady rod. Unfortunately, we do take that hit with the really low lure speed, literally in the negatives. And that's more or less the reason why I'm sort of rushing right now to get ourselves the Arctic rod. It's going to completely change everything. We're going to have way more luck, way more lure speed at the cost of sacrificing just a little bit of resilience. To be exact, 50% resilience. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that the steady rod is 30% resilience and the Arctic rod is 15%. Either way, back to the drawing board. Let's continue going till we get this 25k, man. We'll be right back. All right, so I should be good on my 25k as soon as I make this inventory sell right here. Hopefully. Oh my god, dude, we're literally missing 30 more. Either way, this should be fairly quick, and then we're going to start making our way over to Northern Expedition. I don't think that I'm going to put you guys through the misery of how long it's going to actually take me to get to Northern Expedition. But after this point is when things are really going to slow down because while we mainly don't have to worry so much about money for our trident rod because we sort of have to complete our bestiary first. Now, I sort of made it like a self-rule where I'm not going to accept any help from anybody throughout this entire process. So for that reason, I don't want to reach out to anybody and have them open the door for me. Unless for some reason, like the sea mine just gets super difficult to actually get, which could be a possibility, but there is a couple of things that we're going to have to purchase before we even make our way over to Desolate Deep. So right now, let's focus on just getting this extra 20 that we need so we can start making our way over to the Northern Expedition. All right, so what felt like 20 minutes later, we have finally made it to Northern Expedition. I really need to look into upgrading that rowboat because this is kind of getting a little out of hand. Either way, we're going to make our way over to the merchant. Right next to him, we should find the Arctic Rod 25,000. Let's purchase that, which officially leaves us completely broke, but we've got ourselves a pretty rod that is pretty much going to hold us down for a good amount of time now. Realistically, we could go ahead and fish here for just a little bit, get 1,000 to get the basic oxygen tank, and start making our way up the Northern Expedition so that way we can make it to Canal and really start making some good money. But as I mentioned before, I want to get started on the entire Desolate Deep because we've quite literally not even discovered it yet. Yeah, dude, the control on this is nice. All right, I feel pretty confident. Let's make our way over to Desolate Deep. I'm just going to pretty much go ahead and gather maybe like 3,000 or 4,000 in this area. So that way we can buy our basic diving gear so we can even make it over there. So let's get back to the grind here, man. All right, so we went ahead and caught a couple of fish here. I don't expect to really earn that much money, but let's get a general idea here. So 3,300, not really that bad. The best part is the fact that we can go ahead and purchase our oxygen tank now. But I've been sort of thinking, and I'm not entirely sure right now whether I want to go start focusing on completing my Desolate Deep stuff, or if I want to just go knock out unlocking depths really quick so that way we can really start making a lot of money. Now, obviously, the better choice here would be probably to complete Northern Expedition and get to Canal, but there's just so many options now that I really don't even know which one I want to choose. Also, a quick little time update. We are now officially 2 hours into this recording, and I feel like we somewhat have some pretty decent progress going so far, especially since I've sort of taken breaks here and there and I kind of get up and walk around. All right, so it is now a couple of hours later. I kind of decided to take a little bit of a break. Haven't really made too much progress besides the fact that I did sort of fish a little bit, which made me about 25,000 cash. I decided to upgrade to the speedboat and purchase myself a basic diving gear. If you notice over here, we're sitting at 3 hours, 17 minutes. So that completely checks out with our previous 2 hours when I showed you guys that it was 4:40 p.m. Now, we've arrived to Desolate Deep. I came to the conclusion that this is where I will be starting. So let's go ahead and head down, make our way inside of the Desolate Deep pocket and start working towards this bestiary. You know, I seriously forgot just how close you come to actually drowning. Making your way over to the pocket with just the basic diving gear, it's actually kind of terrifying. On the plus side though, now in this area, which I actually never got to enjoy back when I first started, is the fact that there is zip lines here now. I can't say that it's going to be exactly the biggest game changer, but it's definitely going to make our life a lot easier. Now, again, as I mentioned before, the whole reason that I want to come down here is mainly because I do want to get started on being able to purchase this trident. Technically speaking, I could just stay with the Arctic Rod all the way until we get to pretty much the Heavens Rod, but because of the really low luck on this, it's not going to be the most efficient to making a lot of money. I need something like, for example, the trident rod that has 150% luck in order to make something like Canal super worth it. Obviously, the biggest issue here is going to be the sea mine. It's probably one of the ones that gives everybody the hardest time. So I sort of have fingers crossed that somebody joins my server and maybe drops an Aurora or something. But honestly, with how tiny public server sizes are now, which I'm hardly ever in public servers, I find it unlikely that's actually going to happen. Either way, let's make some progress towards this bestiary. All right, so if I'm going to be honest, I've been now fishing here for, give or take, going on almost an hour. For the most part, it's been going pretty decent. We're pretty much only missing both of the mythicals and one legendary. Problem is that these are the ones that you get from the crab cage. On my main account, it took me roughly around 800 crab cages to get it. We've done maybe 20 or 30 so far. On top of that, we've also made no progress money-wise. I think I'm sitting at maybe 20K if I'm even lucky. So we might have a change of plan here just to sort of speed up the process because we are moving into hour number 4 for total playtime on the account. It's already bad enough that I started off the account with an extra hour that I didn't really need to have. So I think the route that we're going to take is start traveling up the Northern Expedition and finally make it into the Cryo Canal. This is going to allow us to earn a lot more money, which which would sort of mean that I may have to beg around to see if somebody can open the trident door for me. Technically speaking, that isn't something that a regular player couldn't do, and to be honest, a lot of you in my Discord server have even made me do that, so I feel like that's definitely a viable option. Gonna be a difficult one since I'm not very good at begging, but either way, I'm gonna go ahead and collect all these crab cages really quick, and then we're gonna make our way over to Northern Expedition and start traveling up. Just to sort of show you guys, this is basically what I'm missing right now, just these three right here. This little guy, I know that I can catch over here on the backside, so I'm not really too worried about this legendary, because if I remember correctly, technically I don't have a radar with me right now, but I'm pretty sure that I can fish him right here. But anyways, let me collect these crab cages and we'll move on to Northern Expedition. Oh my god, we actually got it. Dude, we actually got it in 137 crab cages. Well, this kind of changes everything now. That was pretty much going to be the hardest part to this entire thing. Kind of crazy. We were literally just going to give up. We are 4 minutes away from rolling over to hour number 4 and still no trident in sight. This is not good timing, man. So currently after selling that, we're sitting at 29,110. All right, so let's purchase our first little oxygen tank here. And now the summit officially begins. Realistically, there's no reason for us to stop anywhere on the way up. The only reason we would really need to stop is if we're trying to make a couple of money to just upgrade our oxygen tank. So right now it's just sort of a straight shot all the way to the top. So we can pretty much set our innkeeper to that and buy the advanced glider. Speaking of advanced glider, I just thought about it. I can't do this unless I buy a glider. I completely forgot. There's actually a spot here where you need to have a glider in order to even get across, but I don't think that they actually sell a glider here. You need to sort of just already have it. All right, so we've officially hit the point where we start losing oxygen as well as getting sort of cold, and our first stop at buying our first oxygen upgrade. So there we go. Let's switch over to the beginner one. For that, we're going to have to unequip the basic and equip the beginner tank. Grab ourselves a refill, warm ourselves up, and we continue on in the path. I don't believe I actually need the pickaxe for any reason whatsoever. We'll obviously need it later on, but I don't exactly need to spend that money right now. So I'll skip that for the time being. All right, so technically we've made it to the part where we would get inside of the canals. The unfortunate part is that, yes, I can go in right now, but I'm running out of oxygen. The second part here is that this is the section where I technically need a glider, but what we can do is sort of jump up here and then jump on this ledge, and we can avoid having to take the glider up to this little ledge right here. Unfortunately, there is a part here where we will inevitably have to have a glider in order to get across. And unfortunately, we got completely cooked there because of, well, basically the cold. But I guess now that we're here, we're going to grab a glider and we'll try this again, just a little more focused this time. So I'll be right back once we've progressed a little bit further high up where we were before. All right, so not only did we finally make it all the way to the top, which means that I finally have my advanced glider, but I also have been comfortably able to stay inside of the canal. Unfortunately, I don't have enough money to go ahead and purchase the advanced oxygen, so I can't exactly conch all the way to the top and then fly all the way back down to sell to the merchants. So we're sort of just racking up everything that we're catching. Luckily for the oxygen, right outside of this canal cave, there actually is a refill station. Pretty easy to keep your oxygen up. So from this point moving forward, we're just going to go ahead and farm here for quite some time. Haven't really decided if I'm going to go through with buying that trident, but I guess we'll pretty much be back here in just a little bit. To give you an update right now, we're 4 hours and 26 minutes into this account. It's possible that we might go straight to the Heavens Rod and just completely skip the trident, but I really only have an answer in probably like an hour or two once I get the feel for how much we're really earning with this rod hourly. All right, so it's been a couple of hours that I've been sort of grinding over at Canal, and I was in this lobby. People were having a conversation. One thing led to another. Thankfully, I was reading the chat and they opened up the trident. So of course, your boy rushed over here. I have more than enough money to go ahead and purchase it. I just unfortunately wasn't able to get it sooner because I had not came across anybody that had opened it or that was even willing to open it. Because I'm going to be honest, I really didn't want to go and purchase the 5 relics and spend that extra money that I shouldn't have been spending. Either way, enough talking. Let's go ahead and purchase it before I lose my opportunity. I am actually super happy right now because this should technically make our life a little bit easier over at Canal. But yeah, as I was saying, just to give you guys a quick update, we are at 6 hours and 46 minutes. And I feel like we've done some pretty good progress. I mean, in these realistically 5 hours, because the account already had an hour, I've accomplished getting my steady rod, the carbon rod, the Arctic rod, and now the trident with an extra 151k available to me, which we will likely be spending now to hopefully get hasty on the trident rod. I say hopefully because this is going to go either really well or really bad. Now, before I actually disappeared for a couple hours in our last recording, I told you guys that I had to get a general idea of how much I was going to be earning hourly with the Arctic. And just to give you guys a general idea, in 1 hour, I was earning about 200K. So it was definitely on the slower side, and a lot of that had to do with the fact that we just didn't have enough luck on that rod. Now, realistically, I could have gone and maybe enchanted that rod and gotten some better performance, but I just feel like using the trident is going to give me way better performance and way faster to be able to get to that basically 2 mil that we need in order to get our heavens rod. Anyway, man, let's go ahead and actually wait. I need to go back. I need to buy some of these enchant relics, which realistically I feel like I shouldn't buy them. Instead, we should probably go and unlock depths finally. Now, I don't exactly know how many of these enchant relics I want to purchase. They're 11,000 a piece, which is really expensive. But I also know that getting hasty is never really easy. In my past experience, I think the worst I ever had was about 70 enchant relics to get hasty on one of my rods. So hopefully that isn't going to happen again. But we are officially under 100K, and I really don't want to go any lower. So we're going to attempt with what we got, that being 6 enchant relics. Before I forget, let's go ahead and grab some sundials as well, because it is unfortunately daytime right now, and your boy is running on precious time. There we go. Another 10,000 down the drain to get 5 sundials. Now our next stop will be the Keeper's Altar. Wish me luck, guys, because I definitely am going to need it. All right, so our first attempt is going to be Wormhole. Unfortunately, I feel like that's usually always my first attempt whenever I have like a brand new rod. Come on, baby. Let's get some hasty here. Seeking. No, not what I need. 4 more attempts. Abyssal. Actually, not bad. Would have preferred that to be the final one, but unfortunately, we got to roll again. Long is definitely not what I want. 2 more. Please let there be hasty. Storming. No, bro. This is our final attempt, man. Please. No. Why did it have to be this, bro? Oh my God. I have to go buy more. We can't end off on this. All right, so we've been set back now to 50K. Hopefully this pays off, man, because if not, I might actually cry. Honestly, at this point, I'll be happy if I end up with anything that's half decent that isn't nowhere. Unfortunately, mutated, seeking. This is our actual final one. What is it going to be? Come on, hasty. Bro, I mean, I'm not mad about Wormhole, to be honest, but at the same time, I am mad about it. Because, for example, we need this inside of Canal. I don't need to be fishing other things from all around the world. So you guessed it. Now we got to go buy another one. Definitely don't want it to be Insight. So that now leaves me with my actual final one. I swear, if this is Wormhole, I'm going to lose my mind. Well, we're going to have to stick with that for the time being, unfortunately. In the meantime, I think I want to make my way inside of depths. And for that, we're going to need some more crab cages. And we're also going to finally have to catch an Isonade. So let's see if we're able to find ourselves a whirlpool around here. All right, so we found one strange whirlpool. Just to give you guys a quick little time update, we're at 7 hours, 13 minutes. And in real time, it is currently 2:40 in the morning for me. So it's been quite a few hours. But it's okay. The grind don't stop. We will become a pro. You know, I don't know what's worse in this situation. The fact that I caught a key, or the fact that I have a bunch of crab cages down and I'm completely frozen, so I technically can't do anything about it. This is by far the most heartbreaking thing I have ever seen in my life. Oh yeah, no, actually, it can actually get worse. A Megalodon can spawn. That's what actually the worst thing that could happen. Wow, I mean, like, way to set me up for failure. What? I thought this was fixed. All right, false alarm. We rejoined, and yeah, I did lose the key technically, but at least we saved the crab cages. Oh, and we got night shrimp. First attempt. Let's go. I don't know why. I thought night shrimp was way harder to get. Either way, we should be pretty good on the crab cages. Let's just go ahead and get the remaining stuff that we're missing, which unfortunately, yes, I have not gotten the Isonade. I accidentally fell inside of the actual whirlpool and I ended up inside of Vertigo, and I was just too lazy to leave again. So we're just going to finish what we got to do in here, and then we'll leave the Isonade for last, which is kind of working backwards, but it is what it is. There we go. We finally went ahead and completed the Vertigo bestiary. This officially means that we can now move into depths, so that way I no longer need to purchase enchant relics. Now, while this is incredibly exciting that we finally get to enter into depths to get our enchant relics and to also make some pretty decent money without having to worry about oxygen, the sad reality is that we are about to enter the 8-hour mark. I ain't gonna lie, man, I really thought this was gonna be a lot quicker, and realistically at this point I feel like it might even take us at least 15 hours to fully make our way all the way to the 2 mil that we need to finally get the Heaven's Rod. Hopefully I'm wrong, but at this point it's fairly simple. We're gonna go ahead and pop a sundial, turn this into daytime, and pretty much fish our life away here inside of Depths. So wish me luck. All right, so as I'm sure you guys can hear by the sound of my voice, it is now the next day. Many hours later, your boy has gotten little to no sleep, and shout out to EU Mesmo for dropping an Aurora Borealis right now. But anyways, we're now sitting at 17 hours playtime, and with all of that, we've pretty much spent it inside of Depths. The reason for this is because I was trying to get enchant relics to be able to get hasty. We finally got hasty. Dude, this guy actually just dropped a nuke in Sunstone. What a weird place to drop a nuke. Either way, I gotta make my way over there because a nuke means free money, and your boy needs it right now because we've only accumulated 1.4 mil throughout this entire time. I seriously would love to know the reasoning behind dropping a nuke at Sunstone. That seems so random. Now, I've been holding off on purchasing this just because I've really been spending most of my time over at Depths, like I said, but I am gonna drop 50k right now on getting the jet ski. Your boy needs that fast transportation, and unfortunately this is sort of required, especially now that we don't really have a snow globe. But yeah, man, I started off really confident. I felt like we were doing really good timing until I got to the point where I needed to actually get the 1.7 mil, and it's sort of just all gone downhill from there. Now, to be fair, even with the amount of playtime that I have, it still is really good timing. I ran into many players that are over level 100. Some of them are even deep into the level 200s that are still walking around with a trident. And if you take a look at their money, most of them are pretty broke. I mean, I'm kind of way richer than they are. Also, I can't find this nuke. Where exactly did they drop this? You know what I think happened here? I think that they dropped a nuke inside of Brine Pool, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Brine Pool is located right underneath Sunstone Island. So there's a high chance that they probably dropped it down there, but the game registered that it was inside of Sunstone Island. Wow, what a moment for me, huh? They really played me there. Probably doesn't help the fact that I'm also half asleep. Either way, now that we have hasty on our trident rod, I'm gonna head back over to Canal. We're gonna finish our pretty much grind to getting to 2 mil, because that's technically what we're gonna need. We do need 250k in order to actually purchase the red crystal. We have to sort of take that under account. But yeah, man, we're heading right back to the grinding. At this rate, I'm probably aiming for somewhere in the 20-hour range. Maybe like 20 hours, maybe 21, unless some absolute miracle happens. Either way, time to get to work. All right, so I don't know what's going on in this lobby, man, but I'm really happy for it. Shout out to all these people, because it seems like they're popping Aurora after Aurora, and I'm all for it, man. It's making me some good money. We went ahead and caught a bunch of Aurora trouts as well as glacio sturgeons in what I believe was about 2 Auroras, maybe 3 of them. I'm hoping that at the very least I made here like 200, 300k. I mean, that's not really going to help us that much, but I'm hoping that that's what we're getting here. Let me just open really quick the bait crates, and now let's go ahead and sell inventory. How much did we make here, man? Come on, be something good. 241k. I'll take that. That technically puts us really close to being able to afford the Heaven's Rod itself, but realistically, we still need 2 mil to be able to actually unlock it. So I say, as we just sort of finish off here on an absolutely grueling 18 hours, I just go ahead and really focus 100% on making this final push to 2 mil, and then we'll be back for pretty much the entire process of being able to unlock the Heaven's Rod. I'm not gonna lie to you, definitely not looking forward to that, especially with how tired I am. All right, so after all the Auroras, we ended up with 1.89 million. That is extremely close, and I actually know a way that I can go ahead and push it to the 2 mil. At least I sort of have my fingers crossed that that's the case. In my inventory right now, I have a total of 17 Atlantean enchant relics, 1 blighted enchant relic, and 5 translucent enchant relics. I'm hoping that if I sell all of these, it'll push me to the 2 mil mark. Worst case scenario, I'll have to sell also my regular enchant relics. I don't really want to, because I know that I'm going to need them once I have the Heaven's Rod. But again, the absolute worst case scenario, I just farm for some more in-depths. Now, we are still under pretty much the peak time that I want to hit, which is 24 hours. So we're doing really good timing. On top of that, we're also pretty much done with everything right now. Once we get this 2 mil, all we have to do is just complete all of the steps to get the crystal, and we're 100% good to go on being completely noob to pro. So let's go ahead and enable selling enchant relics as well as exotics, because I have a depth key that I also want sold. Let's talk to the merchant, sell my items, please push to 2. Yes, 2.1 mil. Let's go. Now, let me make sure to turn this off so that I don't forget in the future. And now we can officially begin our entire journey to unlocking the crystals. Now, obviously the one that is going to be the most inconvenient one is probably going to be the red one. So let's get that out of the way first. For that, we're going to have to travel around the entire world to different islands and press the individual buttons. So our first stop is going to obviously be Moosewood. All right, so right behind the money leaderboard, press button, and we're good to go on that one. Let's move on to the next one. All right, we've arrived to Roslit. Let's go ahead and go on the other side of the log here. Press the button. That is number 2. Number 3 is the Forsaken Shores Watchtower. Just climb all the way to the top here. Press the button, and we are good to go. For number 4, we have to make our way to the very top of Snowcap where Wilson is standing. So for this, we'll have to do just a tiny bit of parkour here. I don't exactly know where exactly. I think it's over here, actually. There we go. Then we just keep climbing up until we get to Wilson. And we have officially made it on the right-hand side over here, this light post. Right behind it, we should see button number 4. Now let's make our way over to the final one. All right, we arrived to Ancient Isles, and right over here behind the stone rod, you'll find the final button. And now we're good to go on purchasing this red crystal. Now, in the meantime, while we are trying to go ahead and get these other 2 crystals that we need, which are fairly easy to grab, we need to be on the lookout for an avalanche. Without that, we won't unfortunately be able to get the yellow crystal that we need. So we definitely need to be on the lookout for that. Let me go ahead and just click here. We're going to go ahead, purchase one of these. There we go. 250K, and we officially have the red energy crystal. Definitely off to a good start. But if you guys remember, I did unfortunately skip purchasing the pickaxe. So we need to go ahead and grab that now, which actually dropped down to the wrong side. I dropped down to the side where the crystal is, but I need the pickaxe. We have to conch all the way to the top again. All right, perfect. We landed right in front of the pickaxe. Go ahead and purchase this for 5,000. We're still good on cash. I did go ahead and buy a couple more conches, so we're pretty good there. Now we have to pretty much head all the way back to the top. Oh, wait. Actually, before we do that, let's grab the green one, which is right around here in the corner. We head on over to the back of the cave and talk to the NPC that's hiding right over here. We should be able to get ourselves the green one. There we go. We got ourselves the green energy crystal. Finally, let's go and grab the blue energy crystal. And then we just sort of have to go on a hunt to find an avalanche. All right, so let's go ahead and pickaxe the blue crystal and collect. There we go. Blue energy crystal has been obtained. Now the hunt begins to find this avalanche. We're just about to roll into the 19-hour mark. So let's see how long this takes me. Hopefully not too long. Fingers crossed. Okay, wait, it actually happened. We got it. Let me grab it. Can I grab it? Yep, we're good. Perfect. I am so out of here. That means we now officially have all 4 of the crystals that we needed. And it is quite literally as simple as just putting them all in. There's the red one. There's the blue one. And final one is our green crystal. Nice little animation happens. It looks like there was an earthquake. Something big must have opened, and it's probably really close. Now for this, we just go around the corner over here, and it should be right about here. There it is right there, guys. Let's go, dude. And it only took us 19 hours. I'm not gonna lie, man, this was kind of difficult. I kind of went into this entire thing with way more confidence than I should have. And I really felt like I was gonna be able to purchase this maybe within like 10 hours. Now, obviously that didn't turn out to be the case, and instead it took us 19 hours. But the point is that I'm really happy that we now have a Heaven's Rod on this account that is technically under level 100 with less than 24 hours playtime. Kind of insane, honestly. With this rod, is going to allow us to pretty much make super easy money, and any other projects that I want to do with this account, I can. Technically speaking, we could go ahead and get this account to maybe like level 100, and we could do a follow-up video on road to level 500. That'd be pretty cool to see how long it would actually take us to get to 500 in a certain amount of playtime. If you guys are interested in seeing that, let me know in the comments. But yeah, man, for the most part, that's pretty much going to do it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. It was something a little bit different, and it did take me a really long time to record. But with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. I believe by the time that you guys are seeing this will be sometime Friday. So remember, on Saturday, we will be live to see what exactly is the next update. I'll see you guys then. Take care.